Well, hello everybody. This is Jim Graham, and I'm really excited to have you all on this webinar. Listen, you're going to be in for a treat. This is some really special traffic strategies brought to you by my friend Doug Crow. And we're talking about strategies that I have really never seen before until the last few weeks when Doug was showing me what he's able to do in order to get organic targeted traffic to go anywhere online in literally about 48 hours. And I have to tell you that in my case, this last week, I had 5,000 hits to a website in 48 hours as a result of the strategy that Doug is going to share with you today. So I want you to really pay close attention, and if you have any questions, we'll hold off to the end to get those answered, but I'm so excited to have you see what's going to happen here, because this is something that I'll call Web 5.0. This is a whole new way of getting traffic that just really kicks it on Google, so that your actual content will rank on page 1 of Google, even above some of the top websites on the planet. So Doug, are you around?
I am more than around. I am jacked. I'm ready to go, man.
Awesome. Doug, take it away. Thank you for being here, and let's go.
Thanks for having me. We're talking about, again, what Jim mentioned, 48 hours to 1,000 plus targeted hits to your website or any online asset. And of course, the direct benefit we want to get from that is creating a hungry crowd of buyers for yourself. So I'm going to teach you this by showing you how authentic experts, and they may or may not have blog and Facebook and tweet and all that social media stuff that we do, but how authentic experts sell and leverage their brand. And of course, when they do that by getting connected to the top media channels, the people you recognize, ABC, Fox, CBS, etc., and other recognized media. So who am I? Who's Doug Crow? Well, I'm a business owner and I'm a former ABC radio host. I'm the founder of Auth Your Brand, and I'm a journalist with Newswire. And what I do is I work with professionals and entrepreneurs. And what I really focus on and I get really excited about is eliminating the overwhelm and, quite frankly, busting some of the myths of becoming a recognized expert. Not an expert in, like we say, a legend in your own mind, but an authentic, recognized expert by people who other people are watching and listening to. So, my background, yes, I've been a speaker and author. I did a lot of real estate and real estate training for investors. I got a chance to fly around the country and speak to people and talk to investors about how to invest in real estate. I got a radio gig with WIND Radio in Chicago. I got to interview people you've heard about, such as Robert Kiyosaki, his wife Kim Kiyosaki, Laurel Langmeyer, Rhonda Britton, etc. And after a while, I moved to WLS in Chicago, which is the largest talk radio station in Chicago. It's an ABC affiliate. Great experience for me, and I learned a heap ton about how to leverage the media, and I do it today through an organization. One of my channels is called Newswire. It's a news agency. So let's talk about you for a second. What are you doing right now as a marketer, as a business owner? You have a website? Sure you do. Of course you do. If you don't have a website, you're not in business. So you got a website. Maybe you spent $1,000, $2,000. Maybe you spent $5,000 on a really pretty website. You've invested time and energy into that in hopes that it would make you money. Maybe you've got a LinkedIn channel as well. You've got a business account, personal account. And now what are you doing with that? Are you actually going in there and engaging with groups, commenting, sharing, giving, serving like you're supposed to do on LinkedIn? Maybe you are, maybe you're not. YouTube, we've all heard how wonderful YouTube is for our business. And to do it right, you need to invest in some good quality graphics and some videos that people are actually going to want to watch. So how many videos are you creating, editing, uploading, and sharing out there to make sure your YouTube channel works? What about blogging? We've all heard that you should be a blogger. You need to blog. People read blogs to get their information from there. Setting up a decent WordPress blog doesn't cost you a lot of money, but you do have to invest something more important, which is your time. Google and other search engines will all tell you the same thing. The blogs that get consistent content, I'm talking a weekly basis, whether you blog once a day or once a week, those consistent blogs are the ones that get some type of SEO to them. So yeah, invest a little bit of money, but the biggest thing you need to invest is time. What about Facebook? This is a really powerful asset you should be promoting, right? You've got a Facebook page, perhaps a group page, a fan page. Are you posting there? Are you putting content out there every single day? Because if you're not being found, right? How about really SEOing your website, your other properties, to make sure that, how many billions and billions, like Carl Sagan, how many billions of web pages are out there? And let's just talk about reality. In your niche, okay, in your industry, how many people are you competing against? Tens of thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of people are doing the exact same thing. Can you all be on page 1 of Google? Are you spending money to do that, right? Or AdWords, hey, you know what, if I can't get organically on page 1, maybe I could spend some money and do it well and get picked up on the right side of Google. The bottom line is we're all doing things to make more money, right? I've helped a lot of people get their book done. We charge upwards of $20,000 to help people craft a well-positioned and interesting, compelling book and make them a bestseller. That takes time. It takes 3 to 12 months to do that properly. So when you invest all this time and money in your business, what are you getting out of that? Don't answer this. Don't have to chat. Put it in the chat box. But think about how much you're making. What's your return on your investment? The ROI, or I like to call it the ROA, return on aggravation. Because after doing all these things for months or years, all right, people get overwhelmed. I'm sure. Who else is overwhelmed? I've been overwhelmed. I'm sure Jim has, but he's got a lot of people helping him out. But is anyone else here overwhelmed? Now you can raise your hand on the right side of this screen there in the Hangout. If you're overwhelmed, go ahead and raise your hand. I want to see who else is being realistic with what's going on online for themselves. Right? Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, a lot of people raise their hands. Overwhelmed. Now here's what we are told. We're told, and this is if you remember the movie with Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams, right, with that ghost voice. If you build it, they will come. And Kevin was looked at as a crazy guy. He's tearing up his cornfields because some voice was telling him, if you build it, they will come, right? And it was an inspirational, beautiful movie, and we all got inspired by it. But guess what, guys? That was a movie, okay? That's not marketing. That's not reality. That's not happening for you. So just because you spend all that time and money building all your web properties, assets, right? Your YouTube channel, Facebook page, website, blog, SEO, all this, just because you built it does not mean they're going to come. And you know this, otherwise you probably wouldn't be on this webinar today. So after you build it, there's more to it, okay? It's about the traffic. Because after you build these web properties, if there's nobody looking at them, it's the old adage, if a tree falls in a forest and nobody's around, does it make a sound? Online, the answer is a definite no. If you build all this stuff and you have no traffic, the only people who are going to your websites are you and your mom. Sorry, you need quality targeted traffic. And that's got to be absolutely targeted to specifics. It's targeted to you and your specific offer, your specific solution, your benefit. So ask yourself these questions. How can you actually create consistent content which you know will bring you more leads and sales? And how can you engage authentically with your audience, which will create relationships that'll be done faster, actually lead to more sales? And third, how could you build trust rapidly? And of course, when you build trust, you do accelerate that sales process and makes money faster, right? So these are the key things that we all think about, but gosh, it just feels so slow when you do it organically and trying to do all this blogging SEO stuff, right? The typical marketer, statistically speaking, invests about 6 hours per day on social media, email, fulfillment, and other non-sales activities. The bulk of our days are not spent closing deals, right? They're spent doing all this stuff. And on average, people spend about $25,000 to $30,000 a year on marketing whiz-bang things, right? Ineffective marketing plans. And with those two things combined, the average typical online marketer earns less than minimum wage. Does this sound familiar? Is this you? You don't answer this one because I know we've all been there. Whether you've been there recently or been there for way too much, way too long, we've all had this experience of spending enormous amounts of time and energy and money and seeing very little or no return. And we've been taught these things. You need a blog, you need a social media, you need a podcast, you need that engagement. Meanwhile, your competition, the people you're competing against, they're published. They're recognized. You have mentors and A-listers you look up to, right? And what about you? You may have superior knowledge that's totally trapped and unknown. There's an old story that I heard about two dentists. And dentist A was very skilled. And dentist B was also skilled, but perhaps not as good as dentist A, right? A, we'll call him Bob. Bob went to school, he got his doctorate, he had good practice, but he's not a marketer. Bob is a dentist. He's professional. He's got great skill sets in the oral health industry. But Frank, and dentist number B, we'll call him Frank, he's an average dentist, but he's hired a professional team to build a business. He has skills. They're not as good as Bob's, but Frank understands he's not doing a medical practice. He's running a business. So he hires professionals to market and become the #1 person in that industry. And he drives a Lamborghini, okay? He's got more time and money than Bob does. Bob's got better skills, and Frank has more money, more freedom, more leisure time, less stress. So who would you rather be? The highly skilled person or the person who leverages their assets and hires the right people to pull off what they really want, which is a growing, thriving business? Okay? If you don't do those things, right now, you're going to be like most online marketers. Your position, who you are, you'll be insignificant and not found. You're going to be lost. The results are frankly very clear. If you want to make more, all right, with what you're already doing, you got to be worth more. You got to be perceived as being worth more to other people. And here's some examples I pull off the web. Let me see if you recognize these folks. I'm going to do it backwards. I know you do, but there's some people that are, quite frankly, media darlings. Okay, they're people who we all know. We see them in our news feeds almost way too much on a weekly basis, right? There's Kim Kardashian, right? She's one. She's a media darling. Okay, I don't know what she does. My daughter got me to watch the show once, and I watched it for a few minutes. I'm like, I'm afraid and sad to admit it, but I couldn't turn away for about 20 minutes. Like, what is this? I was intrigued. Or this guy, Kanye West, great musician, ego that's ridiculous. And of course, our big buddy, our young boy, Justin Bieber. These are people who get picked up by the news on a consistent basis. Yet, what do they actually provide? What value do they provide? Some people say entertainment. Some people say it's just a celebrity pure in interest. I don't know. I don't follow these people, but I see them all the time. But what about you guys? I mean, you're not going to be some kind of reality TV star or musician. I'm guessing you might be, but 99 chances out of 100 you're going to be you want to be not a media darling, but a media maven, right? These people probably are more in line with what you want to achieve. They have value. People like Donald Trump, okay? There's a pretty picture of Don. Or Bill Clinton even. It doesn't have to be business, in politics, because politics is a business. And of course, one of our favorites for a long time for a lot of people is Richard Branson. He's a marketing maven, right? Does he share stuff on social media? Yes. We all perhaps have seen on Google Plus or LinkedIn. But they're a marketing maven because they do a couple of things that you are not doing, right? They are getting mentioned in the media. That's what we're going to focus on today. And what happens when you do that, you get instant targeted traffic. It does not take the typical, hey, I've got a blog for 6, 12 months before it gets picked up. No, we're talking about instant traffic, and this is what you can think about. When you get instant targeted traffic, you're not waiting months or years for it. Let's take a very simple, clear example. Let's say that we work together and you get 1,000 fresh targeted hits to your website, and hopefully you've got a conversion there. So do the math on this. 1,000 targeted hits, and out of those 1,000, let's say you've got a 10% conversion. That's 100 people going to your page saying, wow, this is cool, I want this. Let's say you start with something simple, like a $97 product. So what does instant targeted traffic mean? Instant targeted traffic means if you've got a 10% conversion on that, you're talking about $10,000, $9,700 in revenue, maybe more if you got a higher priced product. That's the benefit of not waiting weeks, months, years, but getting instant targeted traffic. Now, here's how I do it. I network. I network with journalists. Okay? I write quality articles that news sites want to reproduce over and over and over again. And then I continue publishing these articles that are consistently picked up by hundreds of thousands of different news sites across the planet. Okay? It's not SEO, guys. It's not social media. It's news. Okay? Look at this guy. He looks like a normal-looking guy, right? We did a book launch for him, right? This guy's like, yeah, sort of basically, I mean, I love him. He's a good guy, but he was unknown, right? This guy went from zero to consulting fees of $25,000 as a result of my news articles in a matter of days. Okay, he went from zero to hero in days. And here's what all this means. Okay, your authority backlinks. What we're talking about here is creating backlinks to your offer, to your page, and those authority backlinks, they get your websites ranked higher. They get your articles ranked higher, and they get your landing pages ranked higher, right? That all happens in concert, all together. It's not one or the other. All that happens together, which, of course, the most important thing for you is that gets your sales pages higher. And the bottom line here, boom, you get my now buttons actually found. Because currently, nobody knows you. Nobody knows how to get your stuff, how to target and tap into your solution. So the backlinks and the media are going to get your buy buttons found right away. Okay, which means more sales, and it means you are above your competition. Okay, for example, we did an article for a gal, Tracy Trottenberg, and she was doing a leadership summit for women called Female Leadership. Our news got picked up by Google News and over 200 different news outlets. Out of 50,000 results, we were number 2. Okay, and what's that mean? That means that sites like below, like the one below in number 6, was the Huffington Post. Now, who here has heard of the Huffington Post? Raise your hands. You've heard of Huffington Post, right? Yes, most everybody has heard of the Huffington Post, right? That's good. They're a very, very significant web property, but not as high as our news team. Okay, I think a news team from Will Ferrell. Our articles even rank above Forbes. Is everyone here? Forbes, right? We did a news story about Robert Curry's book, and over 593,000 results. Our news story ranked number 1, above Forbes. That's the kind of results. That's the kind of results that we get for our clients. And Jim's example, Jim, if you want to chime in on more detail on what we did for you this past week, in fact, for your event, you can go ahead and chime in here and give some details on this.
Yeah, this was quite amazing. It was just last week, Doug, that you said, hey, let's do this thing, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. And what we did was I reset this particular sales page and got over 5,000 hits in 48 hours. And this is for a high-ticket product. You know, this is about getting targeted hits because of the content that Doug wrote. It was really amazing. I've never seen anything like it.
Great, thank you very much. So I'm going to share with you my specific strategies. Okay, I'm going to share with you how to position yourself as the expert, and that's even if you're not one right now. It does not matter. I can show you how to position yourself as the expert in your field. Equally important, I'm going to show you how to eliminate the overwhelm that we all feel, so you can get thousands of people to come your way. Now, this, in my opinion, I'm like you guys study a lot of this stuff. This is the fastest way to get there, shy of expensive pay-per-click. Okay, now why this is important to you right now? Number 1, most marketing branding advice to get things going quickly, quite frankly, it's dead wrong. Okay, marketing, as we know, real marketing is expensive, and no one will tell you otherwise who's being honest, but it usually doesn't work. It's very, very much trial and error marketing. What's going to work for you? Okay, what I'm going to share with you is a brand new way, and a brand new way for you, but personally, I've gotten consistent results like this for years doing the Media Maven model, all right? This is for you if you're a professional and you want to be recognized as the authority or expert, or if you just want quick targeted traffic. And if you want to rank higher on Google, I can even get you to page 1. Now, if you want more revenue right now, this webinar, this very fast and specific webinar is for you, okay? Here are some quick house rules. In case this is you, then you can log off right now. If you're a get-rich-quick person, even though I'm talking about traffic in 48 hours, it doesn't mean you're going to make money in 48 hours. It means you've got to actually have a sales page that converts. You've got to have some other things there. So if you don't have that, if you're a get-rich-quick guy, you want to push a button and make money, not going to work. If you're a fake expert, here's what I mean by that. I can say you're not an expert right now, but I can position you as one. That's different from being a fake one. The web is very transparent. You cannot lie, and if you try, you'll be found out rather quickly. So you cannot lie. We position experts authentically and quickly, but only if they have something authentic and good, good stuff to share, real solutions for their client, okay? And the other house rule is, quite frankly, most people are spending big money in the wrong places online, and you know this in your heart because you tried things, you're spending money here and there, and you're not getting the results you want. So a quick confession, I have an advantage over most people. I have experience in this industry, and a professional team, and a network of influence, okay? The benefit to you guys today is I've got a very insane opportunity. You've solved the email perhaps, but I want to reiterate that there are no sales on this webinar. Will I be talking to you later about perhaps working together? Absolutely, but there's nothing to buy today. So put your credit cards away. I'm here to teach you and share with you and hopefully get to know you. Imagine this scenario, if you will, for yourself. What if your article happened to be picked up and shared by hundreds or thousands of authority news sites? And what if you had 5,000 hits like Jim did to your website, and it did convert to 10% for a $97 product? What would that mean? 5,000 hits with a 10% conversion on only a $97 product? This is what it would mean for you. 50K. Let that soak in a second. 50,000 bucks on 5,000 hits, targeted. Sound like a stretch? It's absolutely not a stretch whatsoever. That's done day in and day out. Matter of fact, a few years ago, like most business owners, I was relatively unknown and slightly struggling, quite frankly. Sounds familiar? I mean, we've all been there. Nobody starts off the ground, with a billion-dollar company. We all start off in the beginning with, day one. So using the three-step system, a very, very simple system I'm about to share, my business exploded. I went from being an average business guy in Chicago to becoming the guy. I became an ABC radio host, and I even earned, crazy as it sounds, over $835,000 in a single day using this three-step method I'm going to share with you right now. Okay? What got me there were quality articles that were shared thousands of times. It's just that simple. If you're positioned right, it's got to be positioned properly, and you need to follow a proven formula. We're not making stuff up here. This formula works over and over again. This formula worked before there was an internet. All right? Jim calls it Web 5.0. I'm going to say it's Web 0.0 plus Web 10.0, which makes it 5.0. We'll average it out. Okay? It's in the quality of the copy that is written about you, and it's how you are positioned online. Because it's not always about you. Matter of fact, it's rarely about you. It's about your positioning. I'll explain that in a minute. There's a very specific three-step formula for saying it right. Here it is. You ready? Number one, follow trending news. I can't stand it when people talk about themselves and nobody cares. There are trending things out there that people are globbing onto, right? Here's the thing. Here's Justin Bieber again. All the jokes from Justin Bieber roast, they're pretty good jokes. I want to read about that, right? 4.4 million people wanted to read about that. It's a trending news topic, okay? People follow popular and trending stories. It's in our DNA. Our psychology is wired to follow something that everybody else is following, okay? And your audience, the people you want to target, they are also following major events, right? They're distilling these events from credible sources. They hear it from the water cooler, they hear it online, they hear it from everywhere. That's what makes it a trending topic. It's just broadcast all over. Now, following the news in general, for people, psychologically speaking, it's an escape. It's an escape from, why do I read it? Why do I care about Justin Bieber's roast? Okay? It's an escape from my everyday life. It gives me a break from what could be something mundane in my life or troubling. It's an escape. It's like movies, right? But here's the magic. Here's what we do. I'm going to combine your expertise with a trending news topic or an article. Okay, that makes sense? I'm not going to talk about you. I'm not going to talk about the trending topic. I'm going to combine them. Why do we do that? Because essentially all advertising is distraction, right? So instead of trying to distract people from what they're reading about, instead of taking them away from Justin Bieber's roast, I'm going to bring them to it, right? I'm going to get in the way of where they already are. There's an old saying that if I want to open up a hamburger, if I want to open a McDonald's, where's the best location? The best location for a McDonald's is next to a Burger King. I want to get in the way of that hungry crowd. I want to get in the way of where people are already looking. Does that make sense? Raise your hands if that makes sense. Simple, simple stuff. But think about it. We're all taught the opposite. We're all taught to become known and convincing and have all this blogging and the YouTube stuff. That's all important to do. But if it's not in the way of where people are already looking, boop, cricket, you are lost. So what I call this newsjacking. Okay, it's not hijacking and it's not news. We're combining the news and hijacking you inside it. The trick, the whole thing is to become aware of trending stories and then spin your content not by becoming the absolute expert on this topic, but by just simply commenting on that trending story. And then, if you do that, the most important thing to do is relate it to the people who are already searching for this news. You got to relate it to them, to what they're actually searching for. Okay? That's step one, is that awareness of trending topics. Okay. Is that clear to everybody? It's very simple. Step one, raise your hand if you understand that. Step one, trending topics. That's all I got to know. Trending, what's how people are already looking for. Step two, you've got to create compelling opinion. Why should I hear about your opinion? Is it compelling? Is it contrarian? Right? If you give controversial statements about a trending story and then relate it to the direct benefit you can deliver, boom, you're gonna win. Agree with everybody. That's not compelling. What if you disagree with everybody about the trending topic? You might get people to not like you, but deep in their hearts, if you're offering them a direct benefit you can deliver on, yeah, that might work. There's a broadcaster in the United States called Rush Limbaugh. Well, many of you have heard of him. Close to half his audience, half, I think it's like 40-some% of his audience can't stand the guy. But the marketers, the advertisers don't care about that because guess what? They are still listening. So he's controversial, and he gives direct benefit to people that can deliver, and because of that, he's extremely successful. So when you talk more about the trending story and potential benefits to your reader rather than your solution, you're going to become part of the news stream. If you go off the wagon here and just talk about your stuff and talk about the trending story without a potential benefit to the reader, it's not going to work. It's a very delicate dance and an elegant dance and balance to doing this properly. Okay, your news story should be a direct opinion about the trending topic and the audience's desired outcome. Is that clear? So we've got step one, trending topics. Step two, compelling opinion with desired outcomes for the readers. Okay? When you give thoughtful opinion on the news they're interested in, you're going to win. Okay? You write an article, and that's the teaser, right? That's just the teaser to get them hooked in. And in the body of the article, a beneficial payoff is delivered to the reader that is seamless. You go, wow, this sounds like a great idea for me personally, for that one person. Okay, that's step two, compelling opinion. Now here comes step three. I told you it's going to be fast. Step three is time for sharing it. Okay, very, very simple. You can share it to your friends on Twitter and Facebook and get lost like a lot of people, or we can share it professionally in the media. Okay, your article needs to be newsworthy. Okay, not just shareable, but part of the news stream where people are already looking. Keep that in mind. Getting in the way where they're already looking, which means people share it willingly. Did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? I want to share this with my friends. Whether it's a water cooler or Facebook or Twitter or a blog, it doesn't matter. It got to be shared willingly because it's newsworthy and interesting. What makes it interesting? Your opinion. Be compelling. Okay. It must also relate to our basic psychology of human interests. If it's not something that hits on our gut, it's not going to work. It doesn't have to be always overly dramatic. Something as simple as a holiday. It could be a celebrity. That's a very, very hot topic, our celebrities, of course, or any kind of things that are interesting to people, sports, politics, disasters, even or science even. Okay, any news that can be linked to your business can be part of this newsjacking. Okay, for example, I'll give you some specific examples. Let's suppose a celebrity is arrested. Okay, and that's news. That makes big news when a celebrity gets arrested because so-and-so got drunk behind the wheel, and we find out they're an alcoholic and they've been arrested. Let's say that you happen to be a life coach. Your news story comments on the arrest. Hey, so-and-so was arrested today, and they were hopping on drunk at the wheel, and we found out later that there's actually a history of alcoholism and drug abuse. You know what? As a life coach, I've seen this over and over again with my clients. Here's what I would have suggested had Justin Bieber contacted me. So we're going to embed your opinion on how you could have saved Justin Bieber. Seriously, it's just that simple. Your solution could have prevented that arrest. And people going, wow, they're already looking at Justin Bieber's arrest. I'm just using an example for, I don't know if he was or not, just, disclaimer. Okay, he was arrested for drunk and disorderly, and you as a life coach, here's what you would have done had you been had he been your client. All right, that's an example of taking a celebrity trending topic and spinning it to yours. Here's another one. Let's make it as mundane as a holiday. It's Mother's Day, and you own a flower shop, or even something even stranger. Let's say you sell environmentally friendly light bulbs, for example. Okay, like, oh man, that's a really boring topic, Doug. I'm selling commodities. How can I be in the news? Well, if it's Mother's Day holiday, what we would do is something highly creative. Let's say we found a mother in the city who couldn't afford her electric bill, and her electricity was shut off for a week to pay her bill. And we comment on that story. We say, wow, isn't it a tragedy that a single mom couldn't afford her light bill and it got shut off? And you walk in there and you say, here's a 5-year supply of light bulbs and we're going to pay your electric bill. You come in as a hero on a news story around Mother's Day. Now, isn't that more compelling than selling, hey, I sell energy efficient light bulbs? But that's what newsjacking is all about. It's about twisting and spinning and positioning yourself in the news. Even something as simple and quite frankly as slightly boring as Mother's Day. Okay, here's a more controversial one that can get a real exciting sharing in the media channels. Suppose there's a government scandal. All right, let's say a division of the government in whatever country you're listening from, there's a scandal. All right, and there's a big corruption and millions of dollars are siphoned off. I'm going to use example. I'll use the United States example of the Veterans Administration. Let's suppose the Veterans Administration, they have had scandals, of course, but let's say something breaks next week about an additional $20 million that was ripped off from our veterans and went into the personal pockets of some politicians. That's the news. Okay. And let's say you don't sell. There's no way you can connect your product, services, or organization to that scandal. But what if we take it one level deeper? Let's say that you have an upcoming campaign. And as a matter of fact, I just did one of these this week with a client. She wrote a fiction book. And in her fiction book, there was a suicide. And there was an attempted or deep thoughts of this daughter also contemplating suicide. It's a fiction book. There's no business angle here. There's no desired outcome. There's no direct benefit from a business standpoint. This is an entertaining novel. And I told her, hey, that's good. This will be fun for me because we normally work with business owners and nonfiction authors. But as a fiction author, I said, well, let's take this theme here of suicide and let's donate. In her case, we this is sort of crazy to get more media exposure. I'm suggesting on the slide you can donate 10% of your profits to a related charity. So I might donate 10% of the profits to a nonprofit group. In Joanne's case, we donated 100% of the profits to the National Suicide Prevention Group. So what happens when we do that? We donated 100% of profits from a fiction book? That got picked up by the news, guys. So no matter what is out there, our skills and our company, our people are able to spin any trending topic to your products and services. And it's not easy to do. That's why we spend a lot of time and energy tracking the trending topics and getting just the right ones for our clients. So when your newsworthy story is shared by others, boom, it becomes part of the news stream. You're not interrupting anymore. Again, if you could take any kind of notes today, this is one to write down. Do not interrupt people. Get in the way of where they're already looking. Okay? Your story must be shared. And Google and their, the other search engines, they always reward those people who create high-quality content, as you know. And when it's high quality and recognized by the media giants, then it goes like wildfire. Okay? Some of our media partners in our exclusive network are these. I've got so many. The slide is going to take a few minutes to go through it all. When I did this for my very first time, I made over $32,500 with this three-step formula, right? The trending topic, compelling copy, and sharing it. That's it. 3 steps. Okay? And I've shared this, again, it's simple. I share this with you, the entire strategy that has earned me millions of dollars. And you can do this all yourself. Okay? You can hire a professional copywriter. You can try and get authority news sites to pick up your article. And you can get them to share it, maybe. But you don't have the network, guys. Just to be really straightforward and frank with you, you don't have the network that gets out there into hundreds and hundreds of news sites. The bottom line is that you've heard this expression hundreds of times in your life, maybe thousands. It's not what you know. Okay? Your content is good, but it's who you know. Who's going to share that for you? The exclusive network is what makes this whole thing work. All right? In order to get the benefit that you are desiring, the reason you're here, thousands of targeted hits to anything online, whether it's a landing page, it could be your nonprofit, it could be your product, whatever it is, to make the whole thing work, is an exclusive network that gets it out there. Okay, we call it authority fusion. All right, we're fusing together these authority sites in your compelling opinion on these articles. Okay, we get your story told. Your article is professionally copywritten and posted in Google News. Okay, and it's picked up by major media outlets. And this is the long slide. Okay, actually there's two of them. It gets picked up by a lot of print and digital versions of organizations and media channels you've heard of, right? The Boston Globe, Miami Herald. When it comes to our content media partners, I'm going to take a little time here and go through them. There are too many to even go through. It's just overwhelming how many people are in our exclusive network. A lot of them you've seen before. Some of them you haven't, but they're all digital properties which are ranking much higher than your blog. They're ranking much higher than your website. They are news channels. They are local news channels. They include a lot of TV and radio station websites. Ones you, again, are affiliates of stations like Fox, NBC, ABC, CBS, and even the lesser-known ones that are out there. They're all affiliates of the major news networks. There are literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of organizations which are all combined in our exclusive network. The local and regional sites are also picked up. If you have a local business, we're going to make sure that your news article is targeted locally, whether it's St. Paul, Minnesota, Topeka, Kansas, Minot, North Dakota. It doesn't matter where you are. We can get you connections into the local channels as well. Or what about an industry? What if you're in the renewable energy industry, or finance, or healthcare, or real estate? Okay, internationally is also important to have. So we have connections across the globe. And of course, the social media websites that are also important, and the RSS feeds that go with it, all part of our channels that we can get your article shared. And I'm understating here, it's not hundreds, it's in the thousands, quite frankly. I can say hundreds to be conservative with you. Ranking above other stories, okay, that's the mission here. So you can get found. You need to be found right now. I'm sorry, but most people are lost. I don't know you. I don't know your business. 99.9999% of the people that you want to target don't know you exist yet. Okay, so we want to get you higher search engine rankings. Jim's event that we did just 24 hours after publishing a story got 1,300 views just on Newswire alone. What this means is very, very simple. More prospects. You need more prospects. You need more people to opt in, and that obviously creates the next sequence. It creates qualified leads for you, which, doing a good job, you got to create, good quality content, and that leads you to what you really want, which is more buyers. Okay, prospects, opt-ins, qualified leads to buyers. That's what it does. Okay, and the bottom line to all those four things is, payday. You need to get more money out of this thing. This is the way to do it. So this is what my three-step formula did for me. When I was doing real estate education training, I did not sell real estate. I sold training. I built my audience. I did a lot of newsjacking with it. And when I did that, I created an event. And at this event for me, we did actually, not to sell training, we actually sold some real estate one day in a 2-hour event. And in 2 hours, we sold $3.2 million of real estate, which, if it was $1 million property, 3 properties, that's not a lot. These were $150,000, $180,000 units in a condo development. We sold them all off in 2 hours. And personally, this was a good day for Doug. It made me about $835,000. I was very, very happy about that. And I did it 100% through news, doing this authority fusion model, which I've just shared with you. Okay. Now, I'm hired personally by some of the world's top marketers to do the same thing for them. Obviously, this works. And now you have a chance to benefit exactly the same way that they do. Okay, but it gets better. This is the fun part. Okay, here's the deal. Quite simply, you want to place on your website, okay, I want to place on your website in the next 48 hours these logos. Saying, guess what? You are now a credible, authoritative expert because you've been published. Your articles, your news stories have been published in all of these websites. These are the part of the graphic package that I will give you when you work with us and get you in the news. You'll have this stuff to put on your site. What does this mean? Take a look at this. This is how it stands out. Here's a friend of mine, Jonathan. He does a dating relationship coach for women. Good-looking guy, nice clean brand. That's his banner, right? Looks good. Which stands out more? That banner or this one? As seen on ABC, NBC, eHarmony, CBS Radio, right? That second banner pops out because, whoa, he's not just a nice-looking, smart guy. Other people have said as much, okay? How about this one? Art Baggett, okay? Great guy. He's got a couple of best-selling books. Nice, clean site, nice banner. But what about this site? What about this version? Look at that. Larry King, Today Show, Court TV, America's Most Wanted. He's a handwriting expert. Or one of my favorites, Dr. Sherry Meyer, okay? Good-looking gal, clean brand. Look at the nice red, the heart, red dress, the red heart, the red font. Very clean, right? I look at that image and go, oh, I trust this woman. She seems smart and obviously spent some money on her website. But what about the real version? Because I cut off what's on the top of her banner. This is what's there. The woman's been on more media than I could probably shake a stick at, okay? Both digitally, on air, everything. So when you see those logos on the top or middle of your website, you are validated by somebody who people understand, respect, and quite frankly, trust. And that's what this does. This speeds up your entire process, okay? So, question to ask in terms of you guys can raise your hands now. I'm almost going to wrap this up, but how many of you would like to have this 3-step proven formula done for you? Okay, here's what you got to do. I told you nothing is sell this webinar because we're about done now. Fast, furious, and right to the point. But here's step 1. Click on this link. Go to authorityfusion.com/strategy, and what you're going to do is you're going to fill out a form. And the form is going to be, I want to talk to Doug privately, personally, okay? You're going to schedule a call with me. And this is a private 30-minute one-on-one consultation, and it's with me personally to find out if we could be a good fit, to find out if your story, if your business, if your ideas can be spun into a newsworthy fashion. Okay, that's it. That's what this webinar is all about. Once we've determined that we're a good fit, we can then write, publish, and professionally share your article to over 100 recognized media giants, getting you what you want. Thousands and thousands of targeted clicks. Okay? There's absolutely zero risk with this because after you've gone through our system, your story is absolutely published. It's published in Google News, all those affiliates from CBS, ABC, Fox, hundreds of others, guaranteed. Okay? So when you schedule your appointment, Jim, I'm going to give some folks here, again, we're not selling a dime. You don't put your credit cards down right now. You don't need that. This is just to have a conversation. But after you schedule your appointment, I want to give people a couple of bonuses just for scheduling their appointment with me, if that's okay. Number 1, being on the radio, I've understood that some guests are just awful. Some guests are really good. So I've created a 21 best practices to be interviewed more and publish more often. How to get those interviews, and how to do a good job with it. Okay, there's a nice bonus here. It's a ebook and video for you. I also have a list of media contacts. I'm not going to give this out probably after the next week or so, Jim, because I don't want out there too many people. But I've got over 700 media contacts. These are producers. These are media producers, mainly radio, and they are, I give you their name, address, email, and phone number. Okay, so you can connect and give and serve and hopefully get on the radio with these guys. And then the last thing I want to give you guys is a program that I created. It's a $1,000 program. You can go to Become the Authority and check this thing out. But I want to just give it to you. It's a blueprint, and it's an ebook, 3 video tutorials. And what I'm most proud of is it's very comprehensive. Matter of fact, we over-deliver on the checklists. And what this Become the Authority program is, it's a way to build your fan base. It's a way to sell your products before you create it. It's a total contrarian. It screws with your mind because most people they go through the idea of, I want to build it, I want to market it, publish it, and then sell it. We take the whole thing and go backwards. We pre-sell the idea. We get buy-in from your target audience. They help co-create the product that they are asking for, and then you sell it to them. It's guaranteed sales. It's a way to become the authority, and quite frankly, the way to monetize your authority in about a third of the time that most people take to create products and sell them. So these are the bonuses. When you schedule your call with me, I'm going to give you my time, my custom strategy session. I'm going to give you the media guest checklist, how to become a 21-point best practices. I'm also going to give you that media list of over 500 producers. And I'm going to give you that Become the Authority system, that complete training program. And one thing is priceless. I'm going to give you our news channel logos. Once you work with us, you're going to have all those logos to put on your website so people look at you and go, whoa, this person's been on ABC. This person's been on CNN. This person's been on Fox. They must be a credible expert because the media has said so. Okay, so that's over $2,000 of stuff, and all you got to do to get all that, quite frankly, is my time. All these extra bonuses is set an appointment. Okay, that's it. So how do you qualify? You're gonna laugh at this one. Fill out the survey. That's it. Just fill it out. Go to authorityfusion.com/strategy, and we'll get going. Now, I got to tell you that I only have 10 spots. I mean, think about the logistics here, okay? My custom consultations, they're limited to the numbers of hours that I have. I don't have unlimited hours per day. I have very few that I do for consultations. I'm busy writing stories, working with my team, getting things out there. I've got 10 spots, and I'd like to have people in this call just go ahead and sign up for them. So, Jim, I'm done. I just want to sit, give, and serve. People, if they want to schedule time with me and get those bonuses, just go to authorityfusion.com/strategy, and we'll have a conversation and get to know each other. That's the whole basis for it.
Well, Doug, I'm already seeing that 3 people have signed up so far, so we only have 7 more spots available because I know your time is very valuable, and you don't have much of it, frankly, because you know you're meeting with people, and then you've actually got to get the job done once you once you start moving forward. But guys, go to authorityfusion.com/strategy. And I also have the click here to register button right there on the side that you can click on and take advantage of this. So let me just backtrack here for just a minute and share with you what this really means. Now, Doug under-promises and over-delivers. When he told me that I would expect 1,000+ hits to my website that would be targeted, that's great. We all want 1,000 targeted hits. But when I got over 5,000, and it continues to grow, I'm amazed. I had no idea that this would even work, and now that I'm studying it even more and learning more from you, Doug, I'm realizing that this news stuff, this newsworthy content, is really getting traffic out there. It's kind of like a strategy that I teach with YouTube is go find a top-ranking YouTube video. Where people are searching for whatever it might be that's in the news at the moment, and use those keywords and then create your own video, and you're going to get traffic. This is the same thing, but it's on news sites, right, Doug? This is websites.
Much different, absolutely.
So on top of that, then I'm looking at, okay, so what is an authority backlink? Now, for some of you may be asking, what's a backlink? Well, here's a backlink. You go to a website, and there's a link on that website, and you click on it, and then you go to another website. That first website is a backlink. Now, the interesting thing about backlinks is Google is rewarding our websites when the backlink is coming from an authority website. And an authority website are 2 things, news and .edus. Those are educational websites from universities. Those are the 2 authority websites. And when we can get a backlink from an authority website, we're gold. And people are working so hard to do this, but they don't know the strategy about having to, you've got to be in the network in order to get the word out and get these articles. But more importantly, Doug, tell me a little bit more about how you actually craft these articles, because this is the magic. It's not that it's just post out this thing and go buy it, right? So what is it that you do? Because when I saw what you had written for my particular news article, what did you do?
What I did was, I'll tell you exactly what I did. Most people, they talk about the wrong thing. They talk about themselves, and that's the absolute wrong way to go. I would never do that. What I did was I went to the Wall Street Journal, and I found a trending topic, and the topic was about the education and the decline of entrepreneurs in America. Everybody thinks entrepreneurship is on the grow. It's growing. It's not. It's on the decline. And so the more I dug and investigated this topic, I found article after article of contrarian ideas about what's happening in the country. And so I said, okay, this is a trending topic. It's about news, about business, and it's contrarian. And then I interviewed you, and you gave me basically, I think, 3 lines, right? But 90% of the article was about the education and entrepreneurs in America, and your commentary was how you buck the system and how you go against what's happening out there. So it was a little bit contrarian and controversial in that manner. And
And this was my opinion, right? And it's the opinions
totally.
we have that actually get attention,
Hmm.
because we all have a different opinion from what the news is saying.
Right.
And
And
this is the magic.
it's huge. You've got to be controversial, interesting, and or compelling. That's it. If you're bland and boring, which I will not allow you to do, by the way. So a lot of people come to me and say, "Oh, I don't have anything interesting to say." I said, "I'm going to make you fascinating," and it can be controversial, but that's what gets picked up by the news. So
Well,
but
yeah, and what this is this is master copywriting. This is not just let's write a little article and throw it out there. Doug, your copywriting skills are some of the best I've ever seen, and I've worked with a lot of copywriters. You know, when I create a sales page for one of our products, it's $25,000 for the sales copy. I don't write it because I don't know how.
mhm.
I go pay the right copywriter to write it for me. And in this case, you're the right copywriter when it comes to these articles, and you're doing the research. I don't even know how to go do this research, and you go find this topic, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is something that's trending, and this is what people are wanting to read. And to get 5,000 hits out of one article
Yeah.
is unbelievable. And we've all done things. We've all blogged. We've all, set up a website, and we've got our article in there, and then, maybe we're trying to get it shared on Facebook, and we get it out there. But can you imagine having one article shared 500 to 1,000 times on all news sites? It's crazy.
Hmm. Absolutely.
And that's what this program is all about. And all Doug's asking for is no obligation, just register and qualify, which means just show up for a meeting with them for 30 minutes and see if there's a good fit.
Yeah, that's it. And I want to talk about that real briefly, because a lot of times I'm a marketer, I'm a business owner, and I've seen other people, doing the consultation thing. But I want to tell you people that, listen, we're going to spend 30 minutes on the phone, and it's going to be 100% content about who you are and how we may be able to help you out. There is no pressure. I mean, after we're done talking, we're done talking. If you want to call back and talk about engaging with us, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too, because sometimes it's just fun to meet new people, and that's what I really enjoy doing. So when I tell you that there's no obligation, it's probably even more laid back than you can imagine. We'll have a lot of fun.
Right, and that's the whole thing. Is if it's not fun, you shouldn't be doing it. This is the way it is, right? You want to make it fun, and you want to be able to go out there, get this thing published, and get it shared by all these other news sites to the point where your article is actually out there hundreds, if not thousands of times, and it's getting picked up on Google on page 1 all over the place. And this is what happened with the article that you created for me. And guys, this is why I have Doug on this webinar, is because you need this. This is not social media traffic. This is not pay-per-click traffic. You're not paying for the clicks. This is here's an article on a trending topic with you giving your opinion and getting traffic to go your way. And my next step is to go into, how often can I do this? Because the next step is I want it next month, I want it next month, I want it next month. If I can get 5,000 hits a month just from this alone, we're talking about 60,000 hits a year to one website, right?
Oh yeah, that's a minimum. We could probably do even more than that, because once a month is probably not frequent enough. I would probably actually maybe do two to four times a month, Jim, because we can take a topic like yours in terms of business, and we could do a new trending topic every single week on that if we choose to. So we'll talk about that offline later here. But I'm very excited about doing basically a continuing story, and you know what, people love cliffhangers, right? So if we said here's a 3-part series, and then after series 1, in next part series we're going to talk about this. This is done before every commercial break, before people always do cliffhangers. I mean, it's called a cliffhanger for a reason.
Yep.
So yeah, we would definitely do a consistent campaign, a consistent ongoing story is always best. Oops, someone turned music on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so guys, take advantage of this offer. This isn't going to stick around for long. I see that there are only a couple spots left, and if you can get in, take advantage of it. If you've got 30 minutes to give, Doug has 30 minutes plus years and years and years of experience in this field to give you. And that's what the life is about. It's about giving a little bit, and you're going to receive as well. And there's nothing wrong with starting to learn from a master and finding out if this is a good fit. Plus, you get all the bonuses. I mean, can we go back through the bonuses really quick, Doug?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to get the list of them here, or you want?
Yeah, let's just go through the bonuses. I want to make sure that everyone understands. Look what you're getting for these bonuses, right? Not only are you getting the strategy session, you get this checklist, the media guest checklist. Then you get this media list. These are the contact email addresses, phone numbers, and names of the top producers in media in order to be able to communicate with them. And then on top of that, then you have your authority system for 997, and then you've got these logos. These are graphics that you can now put on your photographs. You can now put on your cover graphics. You can now put on your website. You can now plaster. You can put it in your videos, as seen on as seen on CNN, as seen on all ABC, NBC, CBS, because your content, your opinion, was shared by these sites. And now you have it, just like all the big guys have it. They're doing it, and now you can. And all you have to do is just click and register and sign up. That's all you have to do.
Yep. I look forward to talking to people. Any other questions, go right ahead.
Yep, I'm looking for questions. It seems like everyone seems to know what's happening here. They understand it. Obviously, they're registering, which is great. Guys, if you have any questions right now, just go ahead and fire away. Because this is the time, and I value your time. We've been 1 hour right now, and I really don't want to go over, because I know everyone here is busy, but we value your time. We want to make sure you go in, just click on authorityfusion.com/strategy, and let's just get started. And I'm sure Doug would love to work with you and figure it out. Anything else to add, Doug?
No, like I said, I want people to have a conversation. We'll have a lot of fun. We'll learn about each other's businesses, and if we can do something together, great. If not, we'll make a new friend. For sure, and that's what it's about, having global friends, which is what I have a lot of those, don't I? Anyway, listen, Doug, thank you so much for sharing your content and sharing the strategy, because let me tell you something, this works and nobody else is doing it, which is the other great thing, right? And guys here on the webinar, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate your time. We'll leave this open for just a few more minutes for those of you that are just trying to get into authorityfusion.com/strategy. Just get in there, click on it, and we really, really appreciate your time, your effort to be here today, and we'll see you on the other side. Thank you very much. Doug, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.